Hello, Pisces. Welcome to Intuitive Gems. My name is Desiree, and I want to welcome you. This is your first time catching one of my readings. I do these readings each and every month, and I would love to share your money message with you. For the readings this month, I'm going to be using my original tarot deck. I will clarify with my Radiant Rider-Waite Tarot, and then I will close out your reading, Pisces, with a Halloween oracle card. Yes, it is that time. My favorite time of year, fall, my birthday, Halloween, all the things. Before we get started, I do have an announcement. A lot of you have reached out to me about starting your own business. Some of you work and you want to know, when is it a good time to quit your job and go into your business full time? Well, I created a free checklist that will help you answer that question. It's called the 6 things you must have before you quit your job to move into your business full time. I will have a link to that down in the description. And the second thing is, I also have had quite a few of you reach out to me for private readings. I am taking a break until January 2022. But I do have a partnership with Keen.com, and I do have a special. If you use my link, you can get 10 minutes for $1.99 if you are interested in connecting with a Keen psychic. I have worked with Keen. I have partnered with them for about 3 years now, and I have used their psychics. I have gotten readings, and I do know that they vet them quite thoroughly. I also have quite a few of my tarot reader friends who work for Keen, and some of them have been working there for over 10 years. So I do trust them, and if you are interested, I will have a link for Keen to try Keen down below in the description as well. All right, Pisces, let's go ahead and get right into your reading. As you can see, the cards are already moving and grooving here. All right, so what do we need to know for the sign of Pisces as it relates to money, wealth, finances, prosperity, and abundance? Nice. For the month of October 2021. All right, let me get all of the cards here. So you may even have a new relationship going, which is good, you know, because when we're in relationship, that always impacts our finances. But here's the thing, Pisces, you have the ending, like you're moving into a new phase. And this is not only a new phase financially for you, but it's just a new phase into your life. Maybe you're quitting a job, going into a business. Maybe you are ending a relationship and you're starting a new one. Maybe you're ending one business, starting a new business, or maybe you're adding aspects to your current business and you're expanding in a new way. But the world tells us that there's something that is coming to an end, right? There is something that, you know, it's time. It's time to move on. It's time to let go. It's time to take that next step. And you feel very, very confident to do that as we move into October, Pisces. Next, we have the King of Swords. The King of Swords energy is about cutting away the unnecessary. Sometimes it's painful to do that. But the thing is like we all kind of get these moments in our lives where we know it's time to let go of something. We know it's time to cut something off, or cut someone off, or cut a relationship off. And the thing is, Pisces, is I don't see that this is it's not a problem. It's not a negative thing. It's like the time has come and you are embracing the time, and there's a new potential. There's a new flow. And it's funny because I'm feeling the word cash flow. There is a new flow of money coming into your life, and you are ready for it. Next, we got the King of Pentacles. Now, things are changing, and the thing about the King of Pentacles is this tells me that there's more you need to know. There's more you need to learn, right? It doesn't mean you don't end something that needs to be ended, but at the same time, you need to educate yourself more because you are moving into a new phase or into a new cycle. Now, whether that be how you run a business, maybe you need to learn about the financials of business, you know, profit and loss statements and all that type of stuff. Or it could be a new industry. Maybe you're moving into a whole new career and there's things you need to learn about that particular industry. Whatever the case may be, you're not fully knowledgeable about this new thing, but that's not enough to prevent you from taking the step forward. And I hope that makes sense. But here's where things get really good and interesting. We have the Four of Wands. This is the card of stability, foundation. So you definitely have a solid foundation as it relates to this new money that's coming in for you. Maybe you have the business set up and now you're ready to start accepting payments, whatever the case may be. It's very exciting. This is also the marriage card, and this is why I said there could be a new relationship on the horizon for you, Pisces, because we've got in relationship readings, this is the marriage card, and then we have the Lovers card, which is the divine union. It's the coming together. Now, it doesn't have to be that, but like I said, relationships, marriage, those things do impact our finances in a very big way. The other thing is the Lovers card, and also this Four of Wands, is passion. It's also a card of passion projects. Maybe you're leaving a job because you're finally doing work that you're passionate about, or working and serving the people that you are very, very passionate about serving. The thing is it's going to be good from what I'm seeing here, because it's all going to work out. This is exactly where you're supposed to be at this moment, at this time. We also have the Strength card. The Strength card is a card of not only physical strength, but also emotional strength. Psychological strength is what I'm seeing here. It's like you have a strong mindset. You have a strong will. The other thing about this is also a card of self-mastery, right? There could have been some things that you had to work on in order to move into this next cycle of your financial life. And you have mastered the discipline. You have mastered yourself in a way that you see you are creating the profits, the money, the business, the investments that you want to create. So I love seeing this card because it's such a, it's a card about overcoming. It's a card about really redefining who you are, because you are capable, you are deserving, you are worthy, but sometimes we have to make some internal adjustments in order to express that physically. Finally, we have the Queen of Cups. I love her because she's a very gentle card, right? It's like she's someone who's very understanding, and her energy is like fully embracing, this next phase of your life. Your emotions are not overrunning you. You're not feeling like you're emotionally disbalanced or unbalanced in any way. She's a very sensitive card she's a very sensitive energy to what needs to be sensitive, right? It's not like disconnecting from your feelings, but it's like allowing yourself to feel what needs to be felt in order to move forward, in order to embrace more money. Sometimes emotionally it can feel a little disruptive, when you go from making no money to making a lot of money, or any variation of that. But your emotions really have to be in check so you can really embrace what's to come, because it looks like, from what I'm seeing here, it's nothing but growth. It's nothing but expansion. It's nothing but, really just, I want to say it's like expanding your container, right? Maybe you're used to making a certain amount of money, but now you have to reprogram yourself to feel comfortable with receiving more, with having more, with being more, and doing more, right? And those things really you have to kind of reprogram your nervous system so those things don't feel so foreign to you anymore. All right, Pisces, let's go ahead and see what else shows up for you as it relates to money, wealth, finances, prosperity, and abundance for the month of October 2021. All right, so here is where we get into things kind of, I want to say, a little bumpy, right? But it's not because things are not working, but there's going to be an adjustment period for you, Pisces, from what I'm seeing here, it's like you're readjusting, right? You're ending a cycle, you're moving into a new phase. Now, this could be a new job, a new business, a new whatever. But transitionally, you're going to feel a little kind of discombobulated. You know, you're still trying to figure out your rhythm. You're still trying to figure out your flow as it relates to your work and to your money, right? Because you could have, you know, maybe you were getting a steady paycheck and now all of a sudden money just kind of comes in sporadically and in varying amounts, and you're trying to kind of manage that. So there's like a learning curve. There's a transitional phase here where you're going to feel a little kind of disjointed. But I want you to feel reassured that you are not doing anything wrong. This is all part of the learning process, right? So it doesn't mean that you're losing money or you're not getting money, but it means that there's some things that you have to learn in order to kind of manage this new phase and this new chapter in your life. And we talked about that with the King of Pentacles. This is a new version of you. This is a new version of how you're showing up and how you're serving and how you're exchanging your energy in order to receive more. Now, this is not something that happens overnight. This is something that takes time. This is something that takes awareness. And this is something that takes understanding and patience. And maybe that's what the Queen of Cups is trying to tell us, is that we have to be very patient with ourselves. We have to understand that changes and challenges will show up, but it doesn't mean something's wrong, right? Growing pains are exactly that, growing pains. But it doesn't mean that the money's not coming. Quite the opposite. Money is coming, and you're going to have to pay attention because it looks like you're going to need to really work on budgeting and staying ahead of the game here. But we have the Knight of Wands. Now, the Knight of Wands talks about something you were expecting as it relates to help that does not show up. Now, it doesn't mean that you know, someone's like bailing on you. But there was something you were expecting that doesn't show up, but it looks like it may show up in a different way. Okay, so don't feel discouraged, right? Because I see the discouragement card here. Next, we have the Three of Wands. The Three of Wands is that future horizon planning. Now, you may feel like you have to really work on the future projections of your money right now, but this card is telling me to tell you that you need to focus on the present moment. What's happening right now? What's happening today? What can I do right now to solidify my financial position? So you're going to have to really work on that. I'm not saying to disregard the future, but right now the focus really needs to be on what we are doing today with our business, with our career, with our investments, with our retirement, with our savings, whatever the case may be. Okay, so let's focus, especially this second week of October, let's focus on what's happening today. Next, we got the King of Wands. The King of Wands means someone in your, I want to say in your work life, could be a higher up, could be a boss, could be a manager. They're not exactly, I guess the word would be in agreement with what you're doing. And it's not because what you're doing is wrong, but because you're actually stepping out and it's not benefiting them. Right? So let's say you're in the position of quitting a job. Well, your manager may not be happy about you quitting your job. You know, you're probably thrilled because you're going into a business, but your manager may not be happy because, number one, they don't want to lose you. And number two, now you put them in the position of having to find somebody else. But that's not your problem, right? Now, that's just one example. This can happen in so many different ways, but I want you to be aware of that sometimes when people are not excited for you or they're not supportive of you, it's not because what you're doing is not good. It's because of what they have to accept as a result of that, right? Like they may not want to hire somebody else. Or maybe they're jealous because they want to start a business and they're not in a position to do it. Right? So don't feel like someone's reaction is a reflection of you doing what's right for you, okay? Next, we have the Hangman. Now, the Hangman is kind of being a little bit stuck. And sometimes you're going to be that way. You know, not every day is always about huge leaps and bounds in what you're doing, especially as it relates to your finances. Sometimes it's okay to stay right where you are just for a little while. All right, but you're going to have to determine that, you know, as it relates to your own finances, your own business, whatever. But I don't want you to feel like it's wrong. You know, sometimes, yeah, we have to be where we're at for a little while, just until things kind of get sorted out. And then we can kind of move into a new direction, or we can move to something bigger, better, stronger, more, whatever. We already talked about the budget. Pay attention to your budget, Pisces. I almost said Scorpio because that's what came to my mind. Maybe there's a Scorpio in your life that you're working with as it relates to budgeting. Could be. But Pisces, you need to really make sure that everything's covered, right? So make sure nothing is just kind of loosey-goosey as it relates to your money, nothing airy-fairy with your spending. Make sure you are focused on what needs to be paid, where the money needs to go, where it needs to not go, what needs to come in, what needs to come out, and so forth. Finally, we talked about this discouraging card here. That's normal. I don't even see that as a big deal. Everybody kind of has moods. They have ups and downs as it relates to work, as it relates to their business. It fell on the Queen of Cups, so basically that's, her telling us, you're going to have good days and bad days. You're going to feel a little frustrated, but that doesn't mean you're not on the right track, okay? So understand that those feelings are totally normal and embrace them as part of your journey. All right, Pisces, let's see what else is showing up for you as it relates to money, wealth, finances, prosperity, and abundance for the month of October 2021. All right, so what do we need to know for the sign of Pisces as it relates to money, wealth, finances for October 2021? All right, Pisces, as we move into the second half of October, I want to say, from what I'm seeing here, you're definitely going to have to kind of rebuild some things as it relates to your money. Looks like, now the Emperor is a card of control. It's also a card of kind of being not as controlled as things need to be, right? So when I see the Emperor in the reverse, it means two things. It means, one, you're micromanaging and you're being too controlling, or it means that there is no control, there is no rules in place, and things are just kind of happening all chaotically. So depending on what your situation is, that's how we will kind of apply this. But I'm feeling here, because I see the Tower in the reverse, this is telling me that something needs to be broken down in order for it to be rebuilt, which means that maybe at this stage in your money life, something has to be dismantled. Something has to be really deconstructed so you can start all over from scratch and you can do it better, bigger, bolder. I'm feeling like as it relates to your money, things just kind of have to, you got to start at ground zero again. It's like you really have to kind of go in and see, okay, what the heck is going on with the money, and how can we improve it? How can we make it better? How can we spend less and invest more, or whatever your goals are, right? Because there's maybe some things that are not in alignment with your goals as it relates to your finances, and you have to break it down and figure out where the holes are, where the leak is, so to speak, right? And that's what I feel like this is about here. It's like really kind of reining things in and re-establishing what has to happen and when. Next, we got the King of Wands. Now, this is a repeater card. Remember, we get somebody who's not supportive here, but it looks like probably within the next week, looks like they're changing their tune, right? Because they realize how valuable you are. They realize what an asset you are. Or maybe they just kind of, after the initial shock of whatever it was, that you're planning to do, maybe they do see that, what, this is going to be a good thing. I'm happy for this person, whatever the case may be. But it looks like this particular person kind of shifts their energy about you by the time we move into the second half of the month. We also have the Knight of Pentacles. I love this. This is financial assistance showing up in the right way and at the right time. This is very, very good. Either you get approved for a loan, someone gives you money that you've needed, Maybe you get something free that you thought you were going to have to pay for. Whatever it is, this is some type of a financial benefit that shows up for you in the perfect timing. Now we also have the Ace of Swords. The Ace of Swords in the reverse talks about there's going to be some blockages, some things are going to stall, some things are not going to kind of go according to plan. So we have to be prepared for that, right? Maybe you're starting a business or a new job and there's some hiccups along the way. I'm seeing this as more of a heads up, not necessarily as something that you have to worry about. But it's like, if things kind of stall or some obstacles come up, don't let it throw you off. Just kind of adjust as needed and keep moving forward. Next, we have the Queen of Swords. The Queen of Swords is cutting out the unnecessary. She does it in a very diplomatic and kind way. So I'm not feeling like this is something nasty or something where you get into an argument and bam, something's done. But I do feel like she's cutting away the unnecessary. I do feel like this is something you're going to have to decide and be discerning within yourself, Pisces. Finally, we have the Page of Wands in the reverse. This is some unexpected news as it relates to your work. The other thing about this is I'm feeling like there's a delay with this message. This could be associated with this here, or it may not. But I'm feeling like there's a delayed message in something as it relates to your work, or something as it relates to how you bring in your money. There's some unexpected news about a delay in something. There's unexpected news about something taking, maybe the time frame isn't what you expected it to be. Or maybe the money may not be, I want to say an amount, like maybe they promised you this, but it's only going to be this. You know what I mean? I mean, it's not bad. You're still getting the money, but it wasn't what you were expecting. So I feel like that's going to be applicable to quite a few of you. All right, Pisces, let's see what else shows up for you as it relates to money, wealth, finances, prosperity, and abundance. Whoa. For the month of October 2021. All right, it's interesting because sometimes when I'm shuffling, I'm already getting downloads. But things are going to start happening quickly for you at the end of the month, Pisces. So I hope you're ready. The Eight of Wands tells me that it's a speed card. The Judgment card says you may not have a lot of time, but you're going to have to make a decision quick. Let's start with the Ten of Swords. Ten of Swords in the reverse. Very, very good. That means you're overcoming some type of an emotional, maybe a messy situation with someone in your family, or maybe somebody that was close to you who could have backstabbed you. Not always, but there was a betrayal there, but it looks like you're finally releasing that, healing from that. And it may not necessarily be a betrayal personally to you, but maybe there was a betrayal within the company you work for, maybe within the business that you're in, but it looks like whatever it is, it gets resolved and it's not affecting you personally. This is a very good thing, Pisces. The Eight of Wands, like I said, tells me that things are going to happen quickly. So at the end of the month, just understand that things are going to really speed up, okay? You may be busy. You may start to get word that, yes, we're moving forward, full speed ahead with the project. It could be, oh my gosh, we have to transfer something at your work and we only have a day to do it. Whatever the case may be, looks like timing is really going to be moving quickly at the end of the month. We also have the High Priestess. I don't like seeing her in the reverse because that's telling me that you may not be trusting yourself. You may not be trusting your intuition, right? You may have a gut feeling about something and maybe you don't acknowledge it. I don't know. It doesn't always mean that, but usually the High Priestess, she's a very powerful card, and this is more about internal power. It's about your own manifesting, your own intuitive strength, and you really have to pay attention to that, right? Because that's really what matters here, is what you know to be true for you. Next, we have the Judgment card. The Judgment card is, I'm getting several layers to this here. It's about you making a decision, but it's also about a transformation in the sense that you become a new version of you as you move into this new phase of your life. Now, you may not have any physical changes whatsoever. But there's a new version of you that is coming through. And that new version of you is something that is very different than how you've been operating in the past. Now, the way this affects your money is that now you see yourself in a different way. Not only are you an employee, but you could be an entrepreneur. Not only are you an entrepreneur, but now maybe you're an investor. Maybe you're not an employee, maybe you're a business owner. I mean, whatever it is, there's a new version of you that's emerging, and it's something that can't be ignored. And when you start stepping into that wholly, you're going to see the changes physically. And I'm feeling like this is more of an internal shift here. I'm feeling like because of this new version of who you are, that is creating new opportunity, new money, new potential for you to experience life in a bigger way. Next, we have the Seven of Pentacles. This is new ideas coming through as it relates to your work, which could be totally related to this Judgment card. New ideas, new opportunities, improving on the way things are currently done. It's very exciting because you get the opportunity to do something different, and it's going to pay off. You're going to make money, or someone's going to want to buy your idea. I don't know, whatever the case may be, but it's a new idea, and it's like innovative in a way where, like I said, there's the potential for it to be financially beneficial for you. Finally, we have the King of Cups. The King of Cups, when I see him in the reverse, sometimes it means the emotions are all over the place, right? And we're trying to work on that, right? We're trying not to let our emotions get the best of us, because then we don't always make the best solid financial decisions. So give yourself some grace at the end of the month. Remember, things are moving quickly, so maybe your feelings don't necessarily keep up with things that are happening externally, but it's okay. Give yourself some grace. Understand you may be feeling a little, like I said, disconnected, disjointed, but it doesn't mean that things are wrong. It just means that you got to kind of be, gentle with how you feel, and not to give them too much power to override your thinking of what you know to be true for you. So I hope that makes sense, Pisces. So Pisces, you've got a good month. You've got a lot happening here. Big changes are on the horizon. October is definitely going to be a transformative month for you. All right, let's go ahead and close out your reading with a Halloween oracle card. I hate the backs of these cards because to me that just looks like cheap clip art, but it is what it is. And interesting. You know what? I'm feeling like I need 2 cards for you. I don't know why. I don't know why, Pisces, but I do. I felt like I needed to pull another card. All right, so we got the ancestors, the love and legacy of our DNA. Wow. And then the other card you got was the veil, and it says the future. We touched on that a little bit here in your reading. I think that's interesting. Could it be the veil is lifting? Could be. Could it be the veil of the future? Maybe you need some more clarity and insight as it relates to what your next future steps are going to be. But you also have the ancestors, the love and legacy of our DNA. So understand that the ancestors are working with you and through you, and they support you, and they're protecting you. All right, Pisces, I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it was helpful. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, observations, please drop them down below. I want to thank you so much for choosing to spend this time with me. We'll do it all again next month.